A sad ending for a rescue dog here at the Winnipeg Airport tarmac. The incident happened on Monday when the pooch escaped and got loose, leaving wildlife officers with no choice but to shoot the dog. Now the group that rescued the dog wants to work with airport officials to prevent something like this from ever happening again.
It was an emotional experience to happen, especially if you had a first-time foster family lined up to have the animal, so that was traumatizing.
This is Greta. She was rescued from Shamattawa First Nation in northern Manitoba. On Monday, she was transferred by Perimeter Aviation to Winnipeg. During the flight, airport crew says the 2-year-old dog chewed her way through her kennel and jumped out of the plane once it landed and the doors opened up.
You can empathize with what would be going through their minds of you are a stray dog who is then, approached by a human. You're put into a small little cage, then put onto a vehicle, then put into a plane that flies in the air. And those little planes can bounce around, as we know, and then land. I can only imagine.
Winnipeg Richardson International Airport says their wildlife control officers attempted many times to corral Greta on the tarmac, but were unsuccessful in doing so. At one point, the dog ran onto the runway and forced a WestJet flight to abort a landing attempt. Airport officials say officers feared the pooch might cause an accident, so they had no choice but to use lethal force.
So this was not what anyone wanted. I mean, many of the people here are dog owners themselves. It's not what anyone wanted to have happen. So, what we want to do is we want to review the process and see, is there something different in there that could be done? At the end of the day, on an active runway and an active airfield, it's going to come down to the safety of everyone involved.
Looking at another option to prevent a tragic incident like this is what the Manitoba Mutts Dog Rescue wants as well. They say the kennel the dog chewed through was a standard kennel they use, but they plan to look at possibly using a different type in the future. The rescue says it understands the officers had no choice and want to work with airport officials to prevent a similar incident.
How they could approach and work with a dog that's in flight mode so that you're able to corral them into a safe place so that you're able to have other options versus what they would have had to have done.
The Winnipeg Richardson International Airport says their officers don't have tranquilizers, but it's something they'd be open to.
Our understanding with tranquilizer guns is that there's issues with dosage and some of the other aspects, but we're going to take another look at it. It's not something that airports in Canada use, but it's something that we're certainly open, if we're the first to do that or look at that. It's certainly something that we're going to take a look at.
CityNews attempted to reach out to Perimeter Aviation for comment, but did not hear back. From Winnipeg, Cheryl Tasascu, City News.